Okay, I was asked a question, the predatory nature of the negative levels of consciousness. Basically, when you're connected, when you've got spiritual awakening to God consciousness, um, it's like you feel happy from within. So you don't really want to steal, you don't want to manipulate, you don't want to take advantage of women, you don't want to brag because there's nothing from anyone else you want because you've already got it. You've got the love of God, which is intense and overwhelming. And so you don't need to steal, you don't need to seduce women, you don't need to brag about how much money you've got. You don't need to get people's validation. So, in fact, you're full of love and you're just very loving. So you're what I used to say before when I used to do 12-step fellowships, I used to say you're a love radiator. You're a light radiator when you're in positive fields of consciousness. However, when you're a negative field of consciousness, your ego is so inflated with anger, resentment, lust, greed, pride, deviousness, all of that stuff, that it's because it's not got a connection to God, it then wants to take from others, or it's predatory. It wants to take food, money, it wants to seduce women, it wants to brag and look important and be the alpha male or female. So all of these things which are predatory or narcissistic or selfish is a thing you see, and you see that with Hawkins. Okay, the different fields of consciousness. Well, that's kind of Hawkins explains that really well. If you're in sh shame, it's like you deserve to die, or you can flip it the other way. Other people who are bad deserve to die. Either I'm shameful, I should die, or other people are full of shame and they deserve to be killed. So, or guilt, which is symbolic of punishment. I need to punish myself. I need to hit myself for being such a bad person, or I need to hit those other guilty people. All those guilty people should be executed for their crimes. So that's guilt, which is, it's a negative field. It's wanting a payoff from the world, either to a negative payoff from myself or others, at the different fields. Anger, it can either go either way, anger at myself or anger at others, depending on which way the ego flips it. So it's still, you could say it's a negative field, it's predatory, or it takes. When you're with someone angry that's shouting and screaming at you, you feel like your energy has been zapped, and they feel slightly better because they've just blown a load of anger on you. So it's predatory. It's not coming from love and wholeness. Then you've got that's anger. Then you've got pride. Yeah, pride. Pride is like, yeah, you're being it's like where you're trying to strut like you're really important, or make out that you're some big shot to get some kind of payoff out of people. It's not in integrity. Like I could be boasting, I don't know, could be boasting about like I know so much knowledge, I know more knowledge than anyone else in this room. So that would be a boast, prideful boast, but that's um it's kind of like if said in that kind of prideful way, it'd be just to get a payoff from others. Um so it is predatory. And the more you go into the high fields of connection to God, those inner feelings of divine love and bliss and ecstasy from within. Of course, you don't even get thoughts like, how can I steal? How can I be prideful? How can I get validation from others? How can I steal? How can I seduce this person? How can I show off? That doesn't even happen because, I mean, your thoughts go silent, you're blissed out, you're full of ecstasy. I mean, you're happy to sort of be loving towards others, but there's no predatory nature there. So you're not like you're a love emitter rather than an empty thing zapping people of their energy or taking getting payoff through negative mechanisms, whether it be seducing, prideful behavior, attacking people, attacking yourself. So those are all the mechanisms which the ego feeds on: self-pity, anger, resentment, guilt, shame. And it can turn it inwards or outwards. So at the various levels, and each level, each of the negative levels, all they have sophisticated belief systems and programs and intent and fields of orchestration that are up to anti love, really, basically. So they get on the field, and it gets very, very dark right at the lowest levels, but we won't talk about that. So those who are in the negative fields, with their ego, are out to take, and those in the fields of God's love will just naturally give. It's their nature. Okay, I'm going to stop the video.